Before I joined, everyone's job was customer insights. So everyone is basically sending surveys, calling clients. They want to know what clients think and so on. And I really think this culture is something that also helps my team do our job today, because everyone is like all ears. Okay, customer says something, we want to hear. I really think it's something that makes me proud about Qonto, but also makes us a great company. The fact that everyone cares about customer feedback.
Welcome to another episode of How to Love a Customer, a show where we dive into the weird and sometimes wonderful world of customer experience. Here I interview leaders at companies who truly care about their customers, who find moments of truth in customer experience. And today I'm speaking with Olga here from Qonto, working in a very interesting industry in a fast-growing company. So Olga, welcome to How to Love a Customer.
Thank you very much, Mikhail. Thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be here. Maybe to start a bit about me, to tell everyone who am I. So my name is Olga. I'm head of customer insights at Qonto. I have a rather international profile. So I was born in Moldova, studied in France. Then I started my career in agencies, very big ones, such as Ipsos and GfK. Then moved to a smaller agency. Or worked on FMCG products, very different ones actually. A lot on beauty at the beginning, and then really very different ones, going from healthcare to tech. Very weird sometimes, like heavy trucks and textile machinery. But super interesting, the curiosity is probably something that drives me a lot. Then I spent my last 6 years at Deezer because I was really interested in, not just insights, but like how those apply to products and how decision-making could be changed, which was amazing. It was an amazing business to look into because it's data-driven. There's creativity, music, passionate people. So I really enjoyed those years at Deezer. And then joining Qonto felt really natural step. Because, as you said, FinTech is a very challenging industry, and also B2B is basically the new B2C because everything is moving super fast and there's a lot of potential there. And also because Qonto is a customer-centric company. And, for someone coming from insights was paradise.
Fantastic. And so, as you say, it sounds like you started and you've had a very long career in insights, but you're maybe like a bit more recently on the customer experience side, right? Okay, it's very interesting. We see all sorts of journeys, how people get into customer experience. Almost no one starts out in that department, which is very interesting in and of itself. So maybe just you touched upon a little bit, we mentioned FinTech, we mentioned B2B, but maybe for those of our listeners who are not in one of your markets in France and Germany and so on, can you tell us a little bit more about Qonto and kind of the journey the company has been on and you've been on in the last few months?
Yeah, so Qonto is, without being too, Qonto is a business finance solution for freelancers and SMEs. We do offer cards, invoicing. Basically, we want to be all in one, a place where, they could do their finances every day. A very easy solution, straightforward. So we are one of the fastest growing tech companies in France. And as I already said, customer obsessed. We are an European company. So our main markets are France and Germany, followed by Spain and Italy. And we also recently opened Portugal, Austria, Belgium, and the Netherlands. So with the ambition to grow, obviously. And when you grow, well, customer experience is really at the heart of everything you do.
I spoke at some point like a few years ago with a leader from another FinTech company, and he mentioned something that was a bit surprising to me, but completely true, of course, that if you think of 10 years ago, finance was not an industry where people thought about customer focused, right? That you need to be customer focused. People thought, you actually can get away with fairly crappy customer service, to be honest. But now these days, it's almost perceived as normal, right? For content, for a lot of other companies innovating in this space. What would you say like people don't know about finance? Like why is it so important to build customer experience in the new finance in fintech?
It's funny because I think it's like an old perception of the thing, this idea of, oh, financing is boring, coming probably from traditional banks that didn't give a lot of importance to it. It's also funny, it's basically an anecdote. Someone told me, oh, you're not saving lives, you're, selling cards. But this is the thing, when you're talking to customers and you're understanding how important this part is for them, it's vital to their business. All of those moments where they do compliance, where they do accounting deadlines and so on, it's basically vital to them. It's almost, we're not saving lives, but it's almost like healthcare. You need to be there, to be present, to be correct, to be on first time, each time, be really, everything needs to be smooth, everything needs to be right. And I truly believe that it's something we're doing really well as a company, and we're trying to do better for our customers every day so that their financing becomes less painful and so that they could spend more time doing their business, because this is what they want to do, in the end. And we as a partner, basically it's our mission,
Yeah, it's interesting because you as a business owner myself, you want your bank to be working and not to think about it. But when something does not work or does go wrong, even worse, you of course have a huge impact on your business, on your livelihood. So I completely understand that, like the importance of getting customer experience right, and especially in your case where you work with a lot of small business owners, where even a single payment not going through can be very, very meaningful to them.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Those businesses could be so fragile, and obviously this is what drives our founders and the whole company, to really support those business owners to get in their shoes and to understand what's important to them, so that we make their life be easier. Yeah.
In this industry, what is kind of the most important thing in customer experience? What are the sorts of things that you think about? Is it like speed, convenience, or other elements?
If I think about our business, what is really complex, I guess, is to balance between the fact that we need to be as reliable and trustworthy as a traditional bank, but at the same time super fast, easy to use as a tech company. So you need to be fast, but at the same time to
not break things.
Make it right. Exactly, not break things. So I would say this is the most complex part, probably.
Awesome. Olga, so let's switch gears a little bit. What is the anecdote that you bring us today?
Yes. So one of the outcomes of the work that my team does. So part of my team does voice of the customer, and while doing the analysis of the feedback that we get from clients during the onboarding part, we detected negative sentiment. And when deep diving into what drives negative sentiment and why all of this is happening, so we realized that we had a problem with the customer support. And obviously, when you have a company which is scaling, growing super fast, having more and more clients, you need to balance also between, the quality that you offer and how fast you help all of those clients. So one of the clients, I remember, he really summarized it super well. When you, in process of company creation, you have all of these, very heavy documentation. And this is normal. This is just the way it is for us and for our competitors. But this is the thing. We as a company, we really want to be their partner, right? To support them. And this is where customer support comes in, because they're here to help you understand and perceive all of this documentation being as not as heavy as it is really. But when you're alone with those documents, it's really heavy. So we realized that some of them were really feeling alone, and that whenever they would call customer support, well, they would feel that, we read them as everything that is already written on website or stuff like that. And also because of the fact that, too many people were calling from specific countries. So other customer support agents would take the calls and not really being, German speaking or, So what was really great is that we managed to have in the room a cross-functional team listening to this feedback, already brainstorming together on, okay, what is the problem? What is behind? How could we solve it? And it was really solved in a matter of weeks. Again, an amazing thing that happened during this, and I'm really proud of the company even more than of my team, is the fact that it's not just about the operational teams. We managed to have in the room C-levels, directors, VPs, people genuinely wanting to listen to the feedback, going to support the customer support team, listening in, understanding what is the problem, and really finding solutions together. I really think it's something that makes me proud about Qonto, but also makes us a great company. The fact that everyone cares about customer feedback. It's not just the job of my team. It became their job because it's a problem for the company, so we just go and solve it. So yeah, super proud. We managed to inspire a solution and to help the teams to get better.
Fantastic. I love the story. It's one of the things that you dream about hearing in a show like this. So Olga, what maybe just to dive a little bit deeper into this, let's start with like finding that insight. What frameworks, what structures in your team allowed you to actually find the insight that like this was the insight, and then to prioritize it in the right way?
Yeah, well, we're using Chattermill.
I do.
So it was Chattermill usage that got us there. We recently expanded our contract and added new data sources into it, which also helped us, have more holistic view on everything on the funnel itself, because we had less data sources in it. And we started by looking into the first parts of the funnel, when people get onboarded. So this was basically the beginning of the analysis. I think what helped in this case is that we weren't really just listening to one story. Yes, we detected the story, but we were listening to a volume. And, whenever you give also volume, also, obviously we care about what one customer has as a problem. But here we had volumes and also showing that the problem was, bigger than just one customer feedback. And in terms of frameworks, again, I would love to give you an amazing framework, but, we are still working as a startup. So you detect a feedback, you bring the right people in the room, and you just act on it.
Sometimes it's more culture than frameworks, to be honest. It's just that you care about this.
Yeah, it's just the fact that having the tool that helps, analysts get in, do the analysis, and then build the story, put the right people in the room, and then just inspire action. It was basically it. And as I told you, what was really great is that, senior leadership put it all together, went to support the team, found, ways to improve it quite instantly. Again, no framework, but just acting on it.
Yeah. No, that's very much the startup way. And so it sounds like, though, there is maybe a little bit of kind of method to the madness where you look at the customer journey. So you had some idea of customer journey already. Yep. You knew that onboarding is the first sort of most important step probably in that journey, because you use the customer forever. I'm assuming you knew from your other metrics that this is something where we can improve as a company, right? And then at that point you find out what are the issues we maybe can't fix, but maybe some that we actually can. But why would you say kind of senior leadership, you say C-level people jumped on this one so quickly? Did you need to prove to people that like we're losing millions of dollars here, or is it just the culture of the company that we have a problem, customers are upset, let's fix it right now?
Fortunately for me and for my team, we are really in a company where you don't have to show that this is an important moment, like you were saying, or it's really about, the tech team also has this like zero bug policy, and it doesn't matter how important is the moment. We need those customers happy because we're a product-led company and we want the product to be perfect, or as perfect as it can be for our clients. So no matter what is the moment of the funnel, or it's just, customer feedback, and we just go for it. And this is the thing. It's probably something, because I didn't tell you, I had to build the team at Qonto because there was no inside team before I joined. But this is the thing. Before I joined, everyone's job was customer insights. So everyone is basically sending surveys, calling clients. They want to know what clients think and so on. And I really think this culture is something that also helps my team do our job today, because everyone is like all ears. Okay, customer says something, we want to hear. Voilà. Especially for onboarding.
I obviously want to be objective here, but having worked with your team for a few years now, I can definitely testify that that's very much the case. All right. So, but presumably you can't always just keep jumping on issues that pop in every day, right? Because in a big company, like something always breaks here and there. Do you have any kind of framework for prioritizing things, deciding like what issues does need to get this level of attention, what not, or is it really like usually things are this smooth that like this one was enough of a difference?
Listen, so far the team is quite young. Yes, VOC was in the company for a couple of years already, but the insights team is 9 months old. So far we're, as you're saying, jumping a bit on topics, following rather, other teams such as data analytics, as you were saying, which could see conversions, problems, or moments, specific moments we want to deep dive into. Probably rather following them on this. So far, I don't yet have a framework, but I'm sure it will come.
Fantastic. Yeah. Sometimes that's the right approach, is to just lead by intuition and what feels.
We talk a lot about customer delight. I think delight is just people being happy. And my point of view would probably be, to follow the whole funnel and just make sure that we improve anything we could improve, as you're saying, and probably starting from the beginning. People usually tend to talk a lot about churn, but churn is where your client is basically dead, he or she is leaving and it's finished. And usually what happens during churn is something that you didn't get right at the beginning. And the beginning is as much when the person is in your product as, outside, when you work awareness, consideration, brand, and so on. So I truly believe that, by getting the whole funnel right, we would also reduce churn and so on. So,
of course,
baby steps. I'm happy to go step by step so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like in your business, it's kind of very easy to ultimately track the quality of this work, because it affects some of these metrics like conversion and eventually churn, as well as things like cross-sell and upsell during the life of the customer, which hopefully is forever. Fantastic, Olga. I really love the story. Maybe to kind of switch gears a little bit, I'll just ask you some other questions around customer experience as well. In leading this kind of company not leading the company, but leading the team in a business that works across so many different countries and in a heavily regulated space, and as you said, something that's so important in the life of your customers. How do you see the company deploying AI right now, especially in the sort of customer service and customer experience? That's a very hot topic right now. We hear kind of very much both statements on this podcast, and I'm curious, kind of what's been your observation in the last few months.
Listen, we as a company now, we are pioneering AI as much as we can. We are as much using AI internally. AI is my best friend. I can tell that. We're using AI super heavily for, obviously, efficiency. So we are using Dust, and we're super happy having numerous assistants. It makes our lives so much easier day to day. We also have a team that is dedicated to AI that is supposed to go in product. So our product, everything that we have in there, such as, the invoicing and so on, is heavily supported by AI and helps us really deliver, great service to our clients. So yeah, I think we're living and breathing AI as much as we can, and really founders are very much into and our C-levels in general, supporting us to bring us, the bandwidth and the time so that we use it even more. Voila. In terms of AI agents and so on, yes, we're using it for customer support, not fully. We still rely on the human touch and on the power of, being supported and talking to and accompanying those business owners. Fortunately or unfortunately, but, those small business owners, they really need to be accompanied, need to talk to customer support. So really cherish this moment, and we think it's important. Yes, we put AI as much as possible, and the website, the product experience, and anything that could be AI'd, but we still balance super well, or at least trying to, the human part, and I think we don't want to remove it. we think it's important.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I've even heard the CEO of Klarna, who previously was talking a lot about AI agents, has recently went the other way and said, actually, we went too far into automating this, and in our business, this human touch is really important. And I'm guessing in yours, it's even more so. How do you, as a kind of customer insights or generally an insights function, build relationship with product teams, with operational teams, maybe for them to act on the insights that you find? How does that work at Qonto, and how have you seen this work generally?
For insights, what can I say? Usually, the biggest drop and the biggest difference you have is between product and marketing. Is that usually both have, separated insights team working on things when you need to synchronize for, a long time. It's not the case at Qonto, and I'm trying to understand why. The thing is that the way we do it, at least, me, since I'm building the team, I'm trying to keep those stakeholders informed about what we do, what are the plans, what we're planning, having a continuous dialogue with them to also understand what are their challenges, what is working, what's not working, so that we know how we support them. And on the other hand side, whenever we have insights coming out, we think about who are the right people to be in the room, so that basically the objective is to not be the Netflix of Qonto and just, present things and, hey, everyone is happy, we train everyone and ciao, bye-bye. But really having the dialogue that starts during those presentations and present a bit, but already start on thinking about what are the actions in the same meeting. This is a bit challenging because you need to constantly think, okay, do I have the operational teams not having, just leadership looking into numbers and saying, oh, this is exciting, very interesting, have a nice day. But this is the challenge and the objective. And also what we're trying to do as well with all the insights that we're delivering is to push as much as possible, workshops, the enablement part. Again, as I was telling you, not being the Netflix of Qonto, but really pushing to act. And this comes with having the right people in the room. Because imagine, I don't know, you're presenting something about product marketing. Obviously, they'll come with ideas. Everyone has ideas when you inspire. The thing is, they are not the experts. So you need this, having the product team sense checking everything, brainstorming together. And here's where good ideas come out, when everyone is in the same room and discussing things.
And how do you strike the balance between kind of your team being the experts and providing the insights versus enabling the wider company to find things themselves? Is that a conversation you have right now at Qonto, and kind of how have you seen this work? How do you envision this working?
It is a huge challenge, especially since Qonto is a company where everyone, as I told you, is customer obsessed, meaning everyone picks up the phone, everyone sends surveys, everyone wants to have the voice of the customer whenever they do anything. We're trying to do our best. So far, the objective is rather producing professional research and pushing to act and show value of what we produce. The self-service comes from the fact that whatever we're producing, we're always thinking about what is the right format, right? Not just the 100 slides insights team usually produce, but thinking about an executive summary, a recording, a small video, like something that helps them, have it on the go. I'm not saying we're good at it. We're just figuring out and trying and testing because it's been 9 months. So, the team is new, but it's work in progress. On the other hand side, the complete self-service, especially from voice of the customer, is not really on my priority list right now, because I truly believe that we need to first build, our function in the company, starting influencing and creating value, rather than trying to do everything at the same time. And, what happens when you do that?
Yeah, no. And what we've seen through years of working with companies in the space is you build essentially a kind of a library of insights of success projects, like the one you talked about earlier, and eventually people get to know this and they start trusting it, and then they want to do it themselves even more. But you always find a few people who are already kind of obsessed enough to start doing a little bit of their own research, maybe like learning from your team. So yeah, it when it works well, it spreads naturally.
You'd be surprised. It's not just a couple of them. There's so many of them. I hesitated a lot, and I was so worried about this trust matter. Like you're coming in, you want to break things and innovate, and I was at the beginning stressed of, okay, I need to earn trust. You need to go baby step. The thing is, when you have a customer obsessed company, when I came in, it's like, okay, a friend is coming in, we're listening. So it wasn't really the problem. The problem is rather, insights take time. Yes, voice of customer is something that we have at hand, but also my team is also in charge of any ad hoc research, which obviously takes time. So it's rather this idea of, like, as you're saying, creating this library so that afterwards people could self-serve.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. But presumably with the results like the onboarding story you were talking about, you can build that trust very, very quickly. Maybe we can switch to our exciting quickfire round in customer experience. So I ask questions. You can give me very short answers, or you can speak at length. There's no need to necessarily give very short answers. So in customer experience, like, what do you think is a trend that is a little bit overhyped, something that you maybe would retire?
Listen, I don't like the customer delight part. I really hate it.
That's controversial.
When you're saying, this is the thing, it's the way you perceive the customer delight. Sometimes making things work, like, the onboarding part I was telling you about. For me, this is already customer delight. You don't need fireworks. You just want things to work correctly. And when I hear customer delight, I'm like, okay, guys, we're not talking about fireworks and, the red carpet. We're talking about things that need to work well so that people are happy. So yeah, I think the misunderstanding of this expression sometimes drives me crazy. But and obviously, as you already said, the AI agents, we're talking so much about like AI agents here, AI agents there. Yes, AI is everywhere. We are heavily relying on it. I'm so much in love with, I keep telling my team, I hope you'll never be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by someone who uses heavily AI. So please get on board with it. So yeah, the AI agents part also, I really feel like it's overhyped. Like everyone is so like, oh, we replace everything. Probably not right now. Maybe later. Hope so. That we could be even more efficient and go all on vacation for a long time. But so far, I really don't believe AI agents could replace what we're giving our customers in many ways.
That makes a lot of sense. And I love the point about customer delight that, sometimes you just need things to work, especially in banking. Like I said before, when it works, you don't want to notice your bank that much, right? It should just be in the background kind of working. Fantastic. And Olga, what company or companies you think are killing it in terms of customer experience, like brands that maybe you get inspired by?
I'm not going to be very original on this one. I'm a huge fan of Amazon. Really, I really think they're killing it. I've been a client for my lifetime probably, and each time I'm having any contact with them, each time it's happiness. You don't have any problem. Everything is perfect, even when you have a problem with the service and so on. And the other company is probably Zalando, which I really think, they're super fast. Everything is, they thought about any pain point you could have and they get it right, And again, as much with Amazon as Zalando, you want to get back to them because, there won't be a problem because this is in their DNA. So you trust them. And I really think this is the key. It's not just about one experience. It's about killing the long-term relationship. And they really got it right.
Fantastic. Yeah. Amazon is so far the most popular answer we get to this question.
Yeah. So I told you
I personally think they, their customer experience maybe is not as good as it used to be today in terms of...
Maybe it's getting a bit... I see your point.
Well, actually, the customer service is still great. It's what I have a little bit of a problem with is how difficult it is to find the right product now because there's so many
too many things,
too many duplicates and so on. Right. And I think they went a little bit too far in that direction of making a lot of choice there, but sometimes you can't actually find what you're looking for.
Yeah, well, I gave you Zalando, and actually,
Zalando is very good.
The thing about Zalando that I found out is we have our German market director that came from Zalando, and he basically also told us, the culture of the company and how, as any employee, you need to also go and see how it works and deliver the shoes and so on. And I really think this is fantastic. You need to know your product, but you also need to know the whole funnel and how it works and how your client, receives the product and so on. It's really key. So it also shows, that it's not just the perception I had about the company, but it's also like they breathe and live this culture. And I really think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have someone from Zalando very soon to record an episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet, but I'm really expecting someone.
Well, I hope they talk about Qonto.
Well, given they're probably not going to be a freelancer, but who knows? All right, fantastic. Olga, thank you so much for being on How to Love a Customer. To all the listeners, please subscribe, give us a rating or a review, ideally 5 stars, and tell your friends about this episode. But we'll see you very soon with another show.
Thank you very much.
Olga, thanks.
Bye.